Hey everybody, it's Vicki. I'm over at my terrace house. I did some cutting back, so I just wanted to kind of get another video of how the garden's looking. Plus everything's just exploding. So starting where I kind of usually start, down here, my sage and catmint. The peonies, so we had, you can see a couple blooms here that don't look terrible, so I left them on. This one is not fully open yet, and then this one looked okay. But all the other peonies, and there was probably, I don't know, 20 on each of these. This one over here is like a darker hot pink color, and this one's like that light pink color. Anyway, we had huge storms last night, tornado warnings. We have more huge storms and tornado warnings for tonight. And everything got really battered. So like you can see, that salvia right there is all splayed out. I need to get some more of those little these things. See, like I just pushed up all this salvia because it was also splayed out like that. But I don't have enough of those plant stakes to stick that up. So anyway, that pink salvia is splayed out. Here's my Artemisia, the silver. I also got up there and I cut back most of the iris because they were all looking brown and ugly. I left the ones that still had some color on them. You can see over in the corner those spiky tall plants. Those will be orange lilies, I believe, the Asiatic type. Not these type. These are those orange ditch lilies that I'm going to be digging out. And look, they're spreading, they're starting to cover. Like this is a pincushion right here. This one, I don't know what happened to this one, but it completely died. I'm pretty sure that's a pincushion, just like that one. These right here are Veronica, so they haven't started blooming yet. I'm going to come in though soon, maybe tomorrow even, and dig this whole clump out. It's starting to cover up my Veronica. Like I said, it's starting to cover up the pincushion flowers. And I just want it out anyway, so it's time to get that out. Remember last video I talked about doing a Chelsea chop on my yellow, what is it? Goldenrod. So behind this tall purple iris, you can see a plant that looks kind of shorter and bushier. That was tall. It was blocking all of those penstemon back there. Can you see the penstemon at the very top? They're white. Yeah, those are in bloom, and I didn't want those getting blocked. And it's the perfect time of year to Chelsea chop the yarrow anyway, because that won't bloom until the end of summer. And so now it can stay shorter and let the other stuff, you know, have the space basically. And as that goldenrod grows back, should be on bushier stems, shorter, stronger, bushier stems with more flowers anyway. So that's a good plant to do that on. And this is actually probably the first time I've technically Chelsea chopped something. I mean, I've cut things back that bloom in spring, and then if you cut them back, they'll bloom again later in the year. So that's also kind of like a Chelsea chop. But truly, the idea of a Chelsea chop is, I think anyway, to cut back things that bloom in summer, late summer to fall, because they'll still have time to regrow and set their buds, and they'll still bloom. It might just be delayed by a couple weeks or so. But that way it gives them, like I said, more branching, sturdier branches, shorter overall, and just less likely to flop and everything. So it's supposed to give it a tidier appearance. Ooh, over here we have some of the pink Gaura starting to come into bloom. You can see that there. This salvia that was so dark and beautiful is approaching the end of its bloom. So probably next time I come over here, which I think I mentioned I'll be back tomorrow. I've got to do some stuff with the house tomorrow. So I might cut that back tomorrow since I'll be here. And I also might try to set that salvia back up. But things down here are looking beautiful. The yarrow is starting to bloom. Probably said it before, but this is probably one of my favorite plants, if not my favorite plant in this whole garden. I simply love yarrow, and I really like that pink variety. Although that's not the only one I like. I have the orange down there that turns to yellow as it fades. And then up here I have some red. This front of this clump is a reddish color. None of them are open yet. And then in the back of the clump is pink. These are my hardy hibiscus, and they are both coming up, one on each end. I have another one down there. Of course, the catmint is looking beautiful. I have my catmint here, and then just that one there. I might try to split that up and make a few plants out of that. Maybe I'll kind of move it into this space somewhere because I have a lot of open ground still in this area. So I was trying to remember last time I was making a video what I had planted up here behind this toadflax. Do you see this tall, kind of wiry purple looking airy plant? It's very pretty. Let me zoom in. This one. That's the toadflax, I think. Anyway, right behind that is a plant that if you look closely, you can see it has orange buds. That is the milkweed that I planted last year. I cannot remember what I planted back there, but I wanted to say it was orange. Well, sadly, I'm pretty sure I planted like, I don't know, 7 or 10 even clearance milkweed plants. And that is the only one that I see coming back. Another sad thing is last year I planted these anemone corms. I don't know if you guys remember me doing that. They were supposed to be, some flowers were red and some were white. And I did get some last year, but I was hoping for like a bigger and better show every year. Well, this year I barely got any of them. And so I looked them up online, and I'll be damned if it doesn't say that they're zone 7. And I'm zone like 5B or 6. So the fact that I got any of them to return is kind of shocking, but I guess that was a fail. Should have paid more attention before I ordered those, or maybe they were listed wrong or something. I'm not really sure. So since we got that torrential rain last night and the soil is very wet, and I know that we're going to get another torrential rain tonight. In fact, the next 2 days we're under like tornado threats and stuff, severe weather, the whole 9 yards. So I did also decide to plant some new things, take advantage of the wet soil and the cool spring temperatures while I still have them. So these are some pink creeping phlox that I got on clearance from Lowe's. I've got 3 on this side, and I put 3 more down here. Down here they're a little bit separated, so there's 1 there and there's 2 right here. And I just want those to kind of start creeping in and filling in. I love things that stay low, fill in, have color, and that's just one more thing that will give me that early spring color and then keep the weeds from popping up and stuff like that. This bushy plant right here, I can't remember what this was, and I was like, what is this that's swallowing my little white rose back there? It's white Gara. It's very big and bushy, so that'll be pretty once it starts blooming. Probably here in a few more weeks, I'm guessing. Salvia's looking good. Again, I've mentioned this before, but this is 2 different types. Wasn't really sure when I moved it. I was trying to make a bigger clump, and this side, if you can see, these are clearly different than these. So what I might do is eventually I'm going to move these back up there with those, because that's the same type, I believe. This one and this one. And then this clump, maybe I will just divide this and kind of refill in this space so that we have the same type, if that makes sense. Or maybe I'll take it to my work garden or something, because to be honest with you, it's a lot of purple in this garden. A lot of purple. But that's okay, I love purple. I still haven't done anything with this terrace, and same on the other side, that terrace and that terrace. So I've got 4 of these. They're not really mini terraces, they're actually decently sized, but I've got 4 of those. So I've got to come up with some sort of planting plan. I just haven't felt with dealing with it until I have water, and my builder is telling me I should have water very soon, so that's exciting. It means I'll be able to have a hose. I came through today and cut back all of the long vines that were starting to shoot out of my grapevine here. These are all the little grape pod things. So these will be grapes at some point here soon. Oh, this peony is looking much better. It's a little bit protected overhead by that juniper, so it's a little bit less bashed and whatnot. So that one is a light pink. I think that's Sarah Bernhardt. And this white one here, I should have cut some more of those blooms off because they're looking bad, but I didn't. This one has like a French name, I want to say, but I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, that's what it's looking like right now. The yarrow, the salvia, the cactuses. Oh my god, you guys. This is so beautiful when it blooms. They have the most beautiful yellow flowers. And I can't remember exactly when those pop open, but I want to say it'll be in the next few weeks. So all of these little fat heads right here will open up as yellow flowers, and it's so pretty. So I've got this whole big patch that I've been spreading, and then I have another one over here. So they start like here, here, some more here, some more here, and I think I'm gonna take some more out of that patch and add a little bit more into this front row here to fill that in, and that's gonna look really pretty. I still don't know what this is. This is the one that gets really pretty cute little purple flowers. I cut this back earlier and I mentioned that it had like some pretty woody stems at the base, so I was a little nervous about cutting it back, but I felt like it needed it, so I did it anyway. That is the wormwood, and I really love how this is kind of filling out inside of this little metal ball. This bare area back here that looks kind of ugly, the reason I'm leaving that is because I planted dahlias back there last year, and even though they're not for my zone, I want to see this is a full sun facing position and it's up against a stone wall, and I just want to see if there's a chance that they might come back. So I'm just leaving that space open for now. If they don't come back, they don't come back. But same thing back there. I have some more of those posts, and along the back up there, that's also where I have dahlias planted. All of these are my daisies that are about to start opening, and that's going to be so charming. And then the pin cushions, I don't think these were open last time we were here. And those are the black-eyed Susans in the back. And then you probably remember last time I planted a bubblegum Supertunia. One here and one down there. And that's pretty much it for the garden today. So I hope you guys liked it. Oh, what else? What are these called again? These are some of my favorite, but I can never remember what they're called. It's a type of yarrow. King Edward, maybe? I'll try to put the name on there. One of these days I'll learn it. And I can hear the birds chirping. You know, I'm not really sure how this got here. I think it must have been a seedling. But I'm like, how did the purple ones get way over here? Because those are the closest purple. Or those up there. Or like those over there. I don't think I ever had purple down here. So I'm wondering if these are seedlings from this, and they have a variation in color just because of, you know, the genetic possibilities. Like this one too. This is outside of the caged in area, that I have here. And yet here's another salvia. So I'm leaving that stuff for now. Probably gonna leave it this whole year, but this is stuff that I'll eventually relocate because I'm trying to keep this front leading edge, you know, is all gonna be like things that are short, sedums, cactuses, these evergreen type things to cover my broken pieces. Just basically stuff to block the runoff of the mulch and things that are pretty and that drape over the side. Stuff like that. So here's my snow in summer, which I didn't realize how much this plant spreads. This is a nice little ground cover for a full sun area. Like it's spreading, and I really like that. I think I'm gonna have to see it's starting to come up inside of this this Veronica, and it's right next to this Veronica over here. So I really like this. In fact, I think I like it more than the Veronica. So maybe what I'm going to do is move this whole grouping of Veronica, and I should maybe cut that back, split it into sections, and then let it reestablish, you know, and that'll be like this whole front swoop here. That would be pretty cool. So I don't know, lots of ideas of things I could do, things that will look pretty. Swimming around in my head always. Okay, I'm just stalling. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.